those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. I greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please feel free to go over to patreon.com and look up Engelgeist. You can choose a subscription level over there. You get the daily forecast every day, a day early. You also get special readings that are only available over there each month, depending on the subscription level you choose. Now, this is the reading or Tarotscope for the month of February for the sign of Pisces. Hello, Pisces. There's no favoritism here, but hello, Pisces. You sweet water babies, which I am one of you. So I try not to show favoritism, but I do love my Piscean energy. It is who I am. You know, people say we're crazy, but it's not true. We're just very emotional, highly intuitive, misunderstood individuals. So anyways, this is your Pisces reading for February. It will be a broad spectrum reading for anybody with sun, moon, or rising in Pisces or heavily placed planets in Pisces. So that would indicate like 3 or more planets. I am a sun, a Pisces sun. I also have Pisces Mercury and Pisces Venus. So I have 3 planets in Pisces, hence heavily placed. This is broad spectrum, so it will indicate sort of what kind of a month you'll have. A give and take what you need and sort of leave the rest kind of thing. Anything that I say, if it doesn't fit or doesn't make sense, it doesn't mean anything's wrong. Don't worry. You might just be working on something different this month, or it could be your house placement. It could be a series of different things. So if it doesn't make sense to you and you are Pisces, don't fret. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. If you're having a different type or style of month or experience this month. If it does make sense or you are able to place some of this information, if it feels like I'm talking to you about a specific area of your life, certainly feel free to utilize the information in whatever way you see fit. Always use your own highest intelligence and intuition first and foremost, but let's face it, you're Pisces, you're going to do that. But, never take anything that I say over that of a professional in their field, like a doctor, lawyer, or therapist. Always listen to them first and foremost when making your decisions, and your own self too. These videos and readings are here to help enhance your experience, help to support you in your decision making, but not necessarily make the decisions for you. Okay, so just keep that in mind in your day-to-day life. Those decisions that you make are your responsibility, 100%. All right, so let's get into this and see what's going on with the Pisces energy for the month of February of 2021. I'm excited to see what's going on. After this, I will be doing Cancer and then Scorpio. And then tomorrow will be the fire signs. We'll start with Aries, running our way back around the zodiac. So let's see. I'm working the first card, the signifier card, or sort of the guide card for the month, is going to come for the water signs out of the Work Your Light deck by Rebecca Campbell. I do have an unboxing for this deck if you like it. I just felt drawn to it this afternoon, and it sort of like falling out to me from the bookshelf for my water signs. So this is what you guys are going to get as for your element. So let's see, what do the Pisces know? Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let me see. Let's see here. Oh, I love it. Okay, fierce. I just watched this. Well, this is giving me Wonder Woman vibes. It's kind of over to the side. It says Warrior Woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? When I look at this gives me obviously a Queen of Swords vibes. It also gives me a little bit of Wonder Woman vibes, which I don't mind at all. I just watched Wonder Woman 84 on, what was it, Christmas Day? I think it was released on HBO. And so I watched that. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to get her in the frame. I watched that and I really enjoyed it. So I like this. I do feel like when I'm looking at this card, she feels like she's hiding behind that sword a little bit. My Pisces maybe need to step forward in the month of February. It will be the second half of February. It will be Pisces, the beginning of Pisces season. So it is sort of our opportunity to kind of step into the light. And we look at this pink light emanating from behind her. It almost feels like my Pisces might be being pushed this month to some semblance of truth, whatever our own personal truth is. That truth would signify in the sword. maybe not sort of hiding in our lives. When it says, have you answered your deepest calling? Like, are you out there getting what you need, Pisces? Are you out there actively chasing down what it is that is intended for you, right? Are you being true and honest with your desires and what it is that you want? And these are all questions that I would be asking yourself during the month of February. I would say this, you guys are strong enough to handle it. That's the sort of the Wonder Woman vibes that I get from this card. I think it's also her long dark hair. She's giving me Gal Gadot. I don't mind it at all. But it's like, we need to step out there. She even has warrior like armor on underneath that blue blouse. So we're protected, we're strong, we're ready for anything as long as we believe we are, right? And so standing in our truth, placing ourselves first, that's also the sword that we see there. To me, that feels very much focused on ourselves, keeping the focus on ourselves, and not necessarily in a selfish way, but just prioritizing ourselves this month versus others would be key. And that way we can get in touch with that calling or whatever it is that desire that's burning within us, and not burning in a bad way necessarily, just kind of pushing us, asking us to step forward. Maybe we've been hiding out for the winter, hiding out for the pandemic, whatever we've been up to. It's time to maybe cut our ties with that and step forward into our truth. However that truth manifests for each and every one of us, I think that it will be a good thing. We'll see what happens in the tarot cards and see what comes out in the messages there. But I think ultimately it's going to empower us and it's going to be a good month. So let's see. What does Pisces need to know? Oh, well, that's weird. Are we going to do that? Okay, we're going to do that. Only one card fell off the cut, Pisces. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm going to take it as the cut tonight. All right, today. So this is our, the first card is our where we're centered at the majority of the month. So this will tell us kind of where we're sort of the, kind of the theme for the month or what's going on with us for the month, most of the month in and out of this vibe, if that makes sense, right? It also gives us indication as to what we could be creating for the future. So let's see, this is the one card that fell off of the deck is the cut. It wanted to only be the one. So it wants to start this out. It is the Lovers card. I love this because it's a major arcana card. So that right out of the gate says, okay, good month. The Lovers to me is, it's also an impactful sort of center, right? It's focused with positivity. I love that we have the black and white cat there. There's a balance. There's a yin yang going on there. I also love that the Lovers comes in here with this, I don't want to call it Wonder Woman, Warrior Woman card, because and she's asking about, are you answering your deepest calling? Have you answered your deepest calling? The Lovers to me is that calling, right? It's that thing that we love the most, that brings us that sort of desire, that inspiration, that connection. That could be for some of you, because this is the Lovers card, it could be a romantic connection. It could be just the thing that you love to do, right? It could be the thing that inspires you most, or where you feel most whole, full, complete, balanced. All of your sort of skill set is working with you. That would be the Lovers here in the center. It also representing the sign of Gemini, I feel like mentally will be probably in a real good capacity this month, as far as our focus will be good. Our thoughts should be clean. Sometimes the Lovers can represent a choice being needed to be made, but I feel like ultimately this being the center, whatever choices that do come for us, they will be solid, they will be clear. We get that choice and that clarity in the sword here that gives me this sort of Queen of Swords vibes. So this is, it's our time to sort of step forward. I will say this, Pisceans have a tendency to fret and the tendency to worry, and sometimes committing to the thing that we love, right? Because we see the Lovers as our center, committing to that desire or that need or that want for something. And this something can be, for each one of you Pisces, it can be something different. It might be a better job for some of you. For some of you, it might be better friendships. For some of you, it might be more fulfilling love relationship. Whatever it is that you're seeking, I feel like this Lovers card is kind of calling out from our center all month long, and we have to listen to that calling. We have to act on it. We have to sort of step out from behind the sword, put the focus on ourselves, listen to our center, listen to this call of the Lovers, make that choice, and be brave and go after the thing that it is that we want. Be clear, fight for it if we have to, right? And I know that Pisces tends to want to be, you know, a kind of a go with the flow sort of person, not rock the boat sort of person until we get really good and pissed. But this is about us. If we have to, we'll rock the boat, right? We will go after it. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. This Lovers to me feels like, do not stop, Pisces. Do not give up. Do not like don't. And this is also the singularity where I was saying we were going to focus on ourselves this month, that this singular sword here with the woman standing behind it. To me, this Lovers thing is about don't put others in front of your desires this month, like, period. That's kind of the clarity that I get from these two cards. It's a very clear message. So whatever's requiring your time or your attention, if it's not something that truly inspires you, hold on, my dog just came in here to snore like that. He just came in and lay down. Bud, can you get like a snore device? Is that possible? Do you think? Is that possible? He came in for the water signs ratings. He's a Cancer. He doesn't know any better. Oh my God. Bud, you gotta like wake up. Come here. Come over here this way. So I feel like this is about focusing on what it is that we love, what it is that we desire, listening and heeding that call, right? All right, let's go to the foundation card. Hi, buddy. This is sort of what everything is built on today. So this is a card that indicates from the past. It is the foundation for why everything is the way that it is this February. It will be sometimes the memory of this moment from the past, or this experience from the past can sometimes be driving our now. It can also be sort of what holds everything in place. Okay, so keeping that in mind, let's see what that is. Let me grab my glasses. What am I doing without my glasses? 1 second. Hey, babe, hold on. Blind as a bat, people. Okay, so thanks for waiting. All right, this explains some of this damn card we keep saying in the daily forecast. All right, so it's the Four of Pentacles. Not a bad card necessarily, but this has been arising a lot in the daily forecast. And I understand now that I'm seeing this in the February reading, you know, me doing the shuffle and being here, some of that could be sort of my own Piscean experience too. But this indicates time from the past, right? We're moving into February. I've been seeing in my daily forecast this Four of Pentacles quite a bit. Some of my watchers or my viewers have been really relating to this Four of Pentacles. It's been turning up in their readings, but I also think that it might be affecting some of my Piscean nature. Four of Pentacles would be about stability, or stability in ideally material realms, right? Maybe stabilizing our home, stabilizing our financial situation, looking to that, or spending time focusing on that. When we got that in order, right? And we're talking about this in the past, when we got our sort of like, you know, I want to say our money together or our life together, we were able to then now look to coming into February and getting about to focusing on, okay, so we have everything else in order. What is it that we want beyond this? What is it that makes our heart sing? That's sort of the Lover's energy. That's also the truth of this warrior woman. I will say this, for some of you, the Four of Pentacles could indicate being a little bit frugal, a little bit maybe miserly, a little bit fear-driven, just because Pisces can shift into that. It doesn't have to stay that way. And ultimately, I think that I kind of get a vibe with this Four of Pentacles being the foundation. We want to be careful in the month of February that we're not being too cautious, that we're not, because I feel like the Lovers to me feels very open and ready for new experiences. Hold on, I'm gonna kick the dog out. You gotta go, bud. Get up, come on. You gotta go. Go into the bed. Go on. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. It's just, you're snoring way too loud. Or you gotta come over here, because I'm trying to do this. And it's live, bud. So you're just snoring way too loud when you lay over there. Come over here and lay down. Thank you. So I feel like when I look at this Four of Pentacles, we want to make sure that we're not trying to control things too much in the background, or we're not too fearful of keeping control. That would be some of this Four of Pentacles energy too. It's kind of a little bit of a vibe that I'm getting, because we don't want to control this Lovers. I think that some of the control is her hiding behind this sword, right? That's what maybe Pisces has been doing. There's a phrase that a teacher used of mine saying something about hiding your light under a bushel. That's sort of this Four of Pentacles energy too, sort of maintaining or hiding ourselves for a period of time, and we're no longer allowed to. We see the sun indicating in the Lovers card. We also see this light behind her, right? In this card, to me, it's like we're supposed to step forward at this time. We're supposed to go after the thing that we want. We're supposed to challenge ourselves and stand in our truth, right? The Four of Pentacles can give us the stability and the strength to do that as we move forward. It can also help to keep us grounded. It can also help to show us what we're capable of as far as making the most out of, maybe meager means, right? We may not have everything we need at times, but we've done okay. Those would be experiences of the past that we want to reflect upon. We don't want to reflect upon when we don't have enough or act out of fear. Or in time, because this is not about it not being enough, right? This is about us kicking into Pisces season and moving to the next level, so to speak, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting from this. And that next level is going to be different for each and every one of you around a certain thing, but whatever that thing is, whatever it is that you want or that you desire, it's out there for you. Listen to that desire and take action, right? Now, the next card is your spirit or soul space. It tells me what your spirit or soul wants you to reflect upon. So this is a strange soul card. Give me one moment. It's the Five of Pentacles. This is kind of the out in the snow card, or being left out in the snow. This is about financial hardship, and it's kind of got a depressing, sad quality to it. Fives are about changes happening. If there are shifts and changes, if we've had a rough experience, I kind of get a feeling like this is in the past for my Pisces. I feel like when I'm looking at this Lovers card, to me, it feels like the new dawn is coming, or the new opportunities are coming. We have to trust it, though. And I feel like with this Five of Pentacles in the spirit space, it speaks to this idea that I think that our spirit wants us to be aware of our fears around maybe things that have happened in the past, where we've not had enough. I'm going to be honest, I kind of feel like this Five of Pentacles and this Four of Pentacles are sort of working against us in a little way. The spirit or soul space, the card in the spirit or soul space, is never working against you fully, right? It's there to show you where you limit yourself. And I think that's what it's trying to show you through this Five of Pentacles energy, is that there's maybe been times where we've been put out in the cold. We've dealt with hardship, with loss, with it's been a hard, maybe last year. 2020 has been hard on us emotionally. Whatever that is, we need to sort of recover from that. We need to move on from that. We need to change that shift in our perception. I feel like the Four of Pentacles indicates an idea of holding on to whatever it is that we had maybe through 2020 and keeping things as stable as we could. But now it's time to kind of let all of that stuff go. That's sort of what I can make, how I can feel like this card is coming from the spirit, is that it's not like you're going to have hardship. It's like we need to let go of that, the memory of that hardship, the struggle energy. I feel like there's an expansion that needs to take place in our perspective in the month of February, so that we can have the things that we want. If we're too busy focusing on what happened in the past and where we lost things and how that affected us, we're not going to be able to step out into the truth or into go after that calling, because we'll be too fearful. We'll be too worried that we could lose again or get hurt again or suffer again in some way, shape, or form. And I don't think that that's true, but I think that that's something that we might be telling ourselves to keep ourselves hidden, or to not commit to whatever it is that we want, right? So let's go to the next cards. These are the outside influences. These are things that are influencing us either positively or negatively in the month of February. They can be people, events, sometimes things more vague like belief systems or energies that are having an effect on you. Oh God. So we've got the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords would indicate this idea of being sort of stuck. This energy of feeling stuck, feeling trapped. We may feel like there's not a whole lot of movement. Remember, this is an outside influence. So this could be situational. This could be just the energy, feeling like you can't move, like you can't do anything. This could be something as simple or as, all encompassing as still dealing with lockdowns and COVID-19. It could have that sort of it could be that sort of an experience that we are dealing with. Like, how do we sort of grow the light of this lovers from our center when we feel like we're so limited in our day-to-day world, right? The truth about the Eight of Swords is always that it's kind of like the trappings of the mind. We're not necessarily as trapped as we think. This cat is up in a tree with a blindfold on, which is the blindfold is very much Eight of Swords imagery. And it's usually a woman surrounded, she's bound and surrounded by Eight Swords. And what she can't see is that there is a sort of a space between the Eight Swords around her, and that she can get out. And so when I think about this, cats are naturally agile, right? And what Pisces may forget is that we can get ourselves in and out of situations rather easily. If we're focusing on, the negativity of the situation, it's going to be all that much more harder for us to deal with it. And I think that we want to not focus on that aspect of it, that the opportunity here to me looks like the tree actually has growth, right? In the sense that even though we might feel as though we're sitting still, we still are moving forward in some way. We may not see exactly how, but we are. And so if the outside environment feels like it's not necessarily giving us many options in February, don't be surprised. But we may have to find those options. We may have to search a little bit. We might feel a little bit lost or confused by some of the situations or people that we're dealing with. But we will make our way. There's always this opportunity in the Eight of Swords to find your way out of the problem. Swords would be the element of air and the intellect, or the mind and the thoughts. So again, I would say that ties into that Five of Pentacles up in the spirit space, where we want to be careful where our mindset is at. If we're in this state of lack, or in this state of worry, in this state of looking too much to the past or too much to the limiting options that we have, we're not going to feel like we're productive or able to move forward. And we want to be able to move forward. We want to be able to step forward and sort of go after what it is that we want, right? That's this warrior woman. She's asking, have you answered your deepest calling? And the truth is, are we actually getting out there and doing the things that we need to do for ourselves? Or are we too busy saying, no, I can't because this happened to me back then? Or if I go after things, I always end up losing it. It's that kind of a thing that I'm getting from all of these cards here. Feel extremely limiting, like they're holding that Lover's card back. And so be aware of that this month. Come on, get up. You're snoring too much. I gotta throw you out. Go. I know, I love you. I love you, bud, but just sleep out there. So be aware of that, because I feel like there's power with the Lovers. And I like that there's an optimism with the Lovers, right? I like that that's our center, but I feel like we are fighting against ourselves or our experiences. And we might even find ourselves fighting within our own mind with some of the confusion that's going on with us in the month of February. It's not like it's going to be a hard month. It might be more annoying than anything, but we need to not let that drop us down or drag us down in some way. Does that make sense? That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Now, let me look at the next card. The next card is the Magician. So this is also major arcana. This is really, really creative energy. This is a lot of opportunity. This is about strength. This is kind of about stepping forward into your light, stepping forward into your truth, going after your calling. This is that opportunity. I kind of feel like it's to me, he feels almost like a risk. He's the way that I wanted to interpret this is I feel like this magician is the only thing that's on the level with how we feel on the inside, right? So this magician could be a person, it could be like a situation, an opportunity for us to step into our own creative power. We may have to grab it, take it, fight for it, be almost maybe even a little bit aggressive about it, in the sense that if we don't, we could kind of stay stuck. We could stay limited. We don't want to stay limited. We need to understand, like, we almost need to take that Five of Pentacles and see it as the struggles that we've maybe dealt with in the past, how we've made it through versus fearing whether or not we're going to receive them again from our environment. Does that make sense? And we might have some rough spots with that Eight of Swords that indicate to us maybe now is not the time, or we don't have the resources, or we can't really move and do what we need to do, or go after what we need to go after because it feels limited. The magician sort of feels like he's stepping in and saying, no, you need to do this. Like, now's the time. Let's get this together. For each one of you, it's going to step in a different way. It's going to be a door opening up, some opportunity coming to you, maybe a person coming to your assistance, or maybe us having to step out for our own selves and utilizing that. It's interesting to me because he always has this like hand raised up with the magic wand, and the wand to me looks like this sword, right? It's this sort of, we have to act on our own behalf this month in some way, shape, or form, be our own kind of protector. Not that we need protection, it's more like, protector is not the right word, but we have to fight for what it is that we want. And when I say fight, I don't mean like get in an argument, Pisces. I'm just saying we have to stand in our truth and go after it and be it. We almost might feel challenged by everything other than what's within our own heart. And how do I want to? We have to stand in that, and we have to allow that energy to be what allows us to step into the power of this magician card. And then those opportunities happen. It's almost like we have to put everything else on hold and tell everything else, like, no, I don't care. I don't care if I can't, how do I want to say this? I don't want to tell you guys that you need to not care about the pandemic or whatever, but I feel like the Eight of Swords feels like limitations placed on us. The Five of Pentacles is also losses and limitations placed upon us. The Four of Pentacles, although it's stable, it's also sort of limiting stuff from the past. So it's this, there's a lot of limitations around us this month. And, but we don't, in our center, we have this Lover's card that wants to come forward. The Magician also wants to help it come forward, but we have to be bold like the Magician. We have to take it. We have to be dynamic. We have to step up in for it. Go for it. Don't let the outside world or the limitations of the outside world and our past experiences indicate to us that we can't have it. We need to sort of create it. I don't know if forcefully is the right word, but the Magician is certainly one that would not allow anything to stand in his way. Does that make sense? So we may have to push our boundaries to go about getting what it is that we want. We may have to fight against some of the perceptions of others, or what society gives us, or what society has told us we're allowed to have. We may have to fight against that or push against that. We may have to push against, we might find ourselves being challenged by our belief system around lack and what we've received in the past, how we've been perceived in the past. What, that Five of Pentacles to me feels like our spirit wants us to clear out the bullshit thoughts that like our funky pasts have brought to us. Is the best way that I can say it. We need to change those things. We need to see them in a different light. We need to not like take the blame for situations where we were either lost things or were left out in the cold, whatever it was. We need to change our perception of that and realize how strong we were, and that maybe it wasn't our fault, right? Maybe it was just part of life or part of experience. And so therefore we weathered it, we dealt with it, we're still here to talk about it. So let's get on to moving on. Let's like believe in ourselves is kind of the feeling that I get, versus, because if we don't believe in ourselves, nobody else will. And so that's also the vibe that I'm getting here. All right, so the next card is the potential outcomes card. This card is always potential in the sense that It gives me insight into where sort of the Pisces may end up by the end of the month, barring that nothing major changes. But this card is not set in stone, meaning that we have free will. We can make choices and changes in our life after having seen this card to affect the outcome, right? So if it's a negative card, it's not set in stone. And if it's a positive card, we can take heart in the fact that we're naturally heading towards this. So let's see where we end up. Oh, great. This card is represented by Pisces. All right, this is the sign of Pisces in the deck. It is major arcana. So this is the Hanged Man. And what I like about this is, I like that, I'll say what I like about it first, and then what I don't like about it, because there's some issues that I have with this as the outcome, because I feel like we're still stuck. We didn't, like, to me, this feels like it indicates that the majority of the Pisces may not answer the call this month, that you guys might not feel as though your options are available to you, or you might be listening too much to your memories and to lack in the past that makes you fearful of taking risks in the now for the future, right? The Hanged Man, though, what I do like about it is major arcana, which means that the end of February will be significant, or will end out on what I would assume would be a pivotal experience, or something that's, you know, big for us. The Hanged Man also represents sort of illumination through contemplation, sometimes struggle or feeling stuck. Again, we've got that stuck energy in the Eight of Swords. To me, the Hanged Man is that Eight of Swords energy, stuck, but stuck on a much bigger level by the month's end, feeling much more like some of you could be trapped in relationships or trapped at jobs you hate. But whatever's going on for you, it's going to be bigger by the month's end with this Hanged Man card. The other thing that I do like about it is that because it's bigger, though, doesn't necessarily mean that it's worse. It means that the gift of the Hanged Man, or the experience of whatever we're going through and whatever we're challenged by, and however long, the longer we stay in it, the harder it gets to get out of it, is kind of the feeling I'm getting. The bigger the learning is, or the greater the knowledge, the more solid that knowledge becomes as we move into March. Also, the other thing that I think is a positive about this is it is our major arcana card. Like, we're represented by the High Priestess and by the Hanged Man. And so for us to end out the month in this card, that feels beneficial to me, but I do feel like we're being challenged. Like, I do feel like we're still trying to figure out where we best fit in our life, or how we best fit in our life, what still fits in our life. We maybe aren't brave enough to make the cuts and the changes, or step out into that light and be that truth. Some of you, hopefully, like I said, this card is not set in stone, right? It can be changed. So for some of you, you might benefit from arriving at this Hanged Man energy, because it is a major arcana card. It does come with gifts. It does come with learning, illumination, spiritual knowledge through adversity or struggle or feeling stuck. It's like, it's almost like we're sort of pushed so far to one extreme that we have to learn it. We have to, we'll soon, like, if not, it's going to be full to bursting, is kind of the feeling that I'm getting from this Hanged Man card, if that makes sense, right? Because I feel like there's limitations in that Five of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, and the Eight of Swords. We've been living in limitations for a while. That Lover's card, to me, and the Magician are very strong major arcanas here, right? One being an outside influence, and one being the influence that's within us. There is this desire in us. We know what we want. Are we brave enough to go about getting it? Maybe not, maybe not yet, right? The Hanged Man indicates that even if we don't have it, or we haven't stepped out and tried to do it, we're going to have to revisit this again in March, guys. Like, it's going to be our time to maybe step into this energy in March. But maybe the Hanged Man will make it all the more worth it, right? Because we will be in full-on Pisces season, because that will be February to March. So that Hanged Man card is very appropriate for that time period, astrologically. So the indecision of the Hanged Man feels comfortable to me in the sense that I think Pisces brains can, you know, it's the other duality to Gemini, which the Lovers is in the center card here, is the other duality of the astrology signs. So we have this duality going on. And I didn't think about that too, you know, with the Lovers being the sign of Gemini, there could be this should I or shouldn't I going on. Is now the time, or is it not the right time? And that's some of the hardship of being a Pisces, is sometimes we can float so many different options around a particular situation or decision, that we can end up staying stuck in this hangman energy and not end up making a decision and realize that we're sort of like almost have inevitably confused ourselves, right? Because we're so busy weighing all of the different options around whatever it is that we might desire or want to create. And so we don't end up actually taking the action, or we're unable to take the action because we're further confused by it. Ultimately, sitting in that time, holding that space will bring about the awareness and the knowledge in the end. So I'm not worried about that. I just worry that the hangman could be unnecessary struggle. But like I said, because it's the hangman at the end of the month, I think that the knowledge that we gain from it will be profound and impactful. Maybe March is the month that we move into this. I don't feel like the Lovers is going away for us. And I do feel like this calling that she's talking about, did you answer your deepest calling, is not going away, Pisces. So if you don't answer it this month, you better get a nap. That's all I'm saying. That's kind of my feeling. I think that's it for the Pisces reading for this month. I hope you guys do. If some of you do decide to step out into that power, I will say this, the one thing that I feel like that shifts all of this is that Magician card. There is some sort of opportunity outside of ourselves, be it through a person or a situation, that offers us some sort of magical creativity where we can move forward. I just don't feel, I almost feel like he's the doorway out. Like, how do I want to say it? Like your get out of jail free card. And I'm not sure that he is, if we don't hook up with that Magician energy, right? If we don't hook up with that wild creativity and that opportunity that comes with that, then we end up at this Hanged Man. But if we actually utilize that or jump on that train, right, in a way, we may not see that Hangman card at all. It could shift everything. It could magically change everything. And of course, that would be a very Piscean thing too. Just magical thinking and things shifting without us even realizing it happens all the time. So I hope it's not all of this sort of like feeling limited energy is not the most hopeful for me, as far as not necessarily the message I wanted to give you guys for this month, but bear with it. Don't give up. Even if you feel a little bit stuck at the month's end, don't worry. That is that Hangman Piscean energy. Process through it, work your way through it, and we'll get you out on the other side of March and see what's going on. And answer the call, guys. Just like get out from behind yourselves and don't let limitations of the past or the limitations that you experience in the day-to-day world hold you back. That would be my advice as I'm looking at these cards. I'm really drawn to that Magician card. Like, I really feel like there's like one opportunity that comes to us that if we don't take it, then we might stay stuck on the curtain like the Hanged Man. All right, you guys, that is your forecast for the sign of Pisces. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button. And I look forward to seeing you guys next month. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.